Welcome back, everybody. Having a little Buffalo Trace with my silver ball in there. That's good. That's good stuff. Kind of a productive day. I cleaned the podcast studio, which certainly needed it. It was bad. So I did that. Took a little nap. I got a little bit of bedhead going on. It's a cool, rainy summer day, and it's a perfect day to be in the shed, do a little reading. I did do some reading, and this video is kind of going to talk about this. So it's like a book report on As a Man Thinketh, which was not bad. I'll get to that in a second, but first, I did put the insert that I got the other day, the pipe insert here. I don't know why that, there we go, into my favorite Zippo right here. I've had this for, I don't know, probably 7-8 years. This is one of my favorites. I'm hesitant to put this little insert in here because I don't want to get the soot or anything on there because it's kind of a special one to me, but we're going to go with it anyway. And Gentleman Caller will be smoked, and I love this pipe. It's small, little, but let's get into that. Let's there was something about it. Now, what's funny is I went to Eddie Gray's YouTube, The Pipe Nook, and I finally saw his video on Gentleman Caller, and I laughed because he was going through the motions like kind of like I did, where there was just something about it that was really good, and you couldn't quite place it. I think we both agreed it was deer tongue, but it was just an interesting. It was just funny to see that. Like, I hadn't even watched it, and then I just said, I want to check out what he said about it, and sure enough. So, As a Man Thinketh, basically, in a nutshell, is your thoughts determine your outcome, so to speak. It's like, it's kind of, it's a better version than The Secret. Like whatever you think, you can will. Unlike, I wouldn't say that. It means like, I'm going to do a poor job of explaining this. If you think negatively, you're going to look negatively, and it's going to affect your health and your productivity and where you want to go in life. And I kind of agree with that because for a long time, I was, I didn't start straightening out until about 2015. But prior to that, I had been a miserable, cranky son of a bitch because I got my heart broken, and I never healed over that. And I held a grudge, and just hated the world and myself and my job. I used to go in and bitch and complain, and now I got coworkers that still bitch and complain about the things that I used to bitch about, and now I can't put up with that. It's just like, if you're unhappy, then change things or get a better perspective on things. And so, a little bit, the only thing I had an issue with, and this is going to be a short review, is the one where he thinks, if you think well, and your body kind of flows with that, it doesn't get sick and I'm doing a poor job of this, but in a sense, it's the only thing I didn't agree with is like, if you think healthy, you'll be healthy, kind of, which is a poor way of explaining it, but you could think positive and all that stuff, and a lot of people do, but they still get sick because, your body does what it wants to do. DNA and whatever else happens, environment and such, all those other factors will play a role in not such a thinking. But that was written way, I think, was it the late 19th century or early 20th? I can't remember. But in any case, that's the only problem I had. However, I do agree in one aspect of it when he's talking about that. It's like if you are sick, it's better to think more positively than negatively. Because if you are a negative person and you're thinking solemn or you're, hate the world or whatever, it shows up in your face. Your body just kind of breaks down too. So I found it interesting. It was an interesting read, worth it, and one that kind of jumped out at me. Where was it? I marked it somewhere. Oh, one line in the book, which plays into today's. Let me see. Where is it? Is it there? Nope, that's not it. That's not the one. I marked something completely different. Hold on. Nope, that's. I don't know where the hell it is. Wait a minute. Here it is. I think it's in. It's in this one somewhere. Oh, here we go. I got little marks on it. I couldn't see it. The people who live in fear of disease are the people who get it. Made me think of today, with all that's going on with the pandemic and all that stuff. People are afraid, and they should be mindful of it, but they shouldn't fear it. You got to live your life, man. But I thought that was pretty profound because, oh, there it is. Something sweet, something. I don't know what it is, but it's got to be the dare tongue. I don't know, but it's good. In any case, so I'm mixing it up with my reading. So before I go on with that, check this book out. It's interesting. It does make you think. Especially if you're one of those people that just sits there and bitches and moans about life and your position in it and work. He makes some pretty good points on positively thinking, affecting the outcome of things. And I have to say, since I want to say 2018, when I started to really do some thinking and kind of bettering myself, bettering to be a better man, that thing, I'm like, enough with this nonsense that I've been doing for 20 some odd years. No more thinking negatively and all this other stuff. And Stoicism helped. And as a matter of fact, a lot of what he says in here sounds a lot like Stoicism, just a dumbed down version of it, which is crazy because Stoicism is pretty simple as well. Maybe not with all the virtue stuff. It's a pretty good book, interesting book. I didn't explain it exactly well. But I say check it out, and I'll probably read this again. Probably over the winter, I'll read this again. I think I rushed a little in the end today because I read it all today. I just got it. I read 2 chapters and then I just read the rest today. Like I read prior, and I did that because I'm now getting back into this book, which is, I don't want to say phenomenal, but it's pretty great. It gives a good perspective on the evolution of, especially in our country or the Western countries, with their democracies and our constitutional republic, and how our government in the States kind of formed with all the people that came before in their political thinking and how it happened. So it's a pretty compelling book, and because it's election season, I want to read this. I want to get through this fairly quickly. I'm almost just about halfway, a little less than halfway through it there, as you can see. So I picked that up again today, and I want to get into the true believer too, because I think this is important to get into with the different political sides that we got going on right now. Kind of get a better understanding going into election season. I think it'll benefit me, to be honest. So that's why I'm going to swap that out. There's with a few other books that I did start The Man's Search for Meaning. I just butchered that title. Man's Search for Meaning. I started the intro, and those were pretty profound. But I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna put that on the shelf, and I'm gonna probably read that after The True Believer. So I'm gonna swap that out and go from there. So that's what I'm doing reading wise. So. But anyway, so I'll probably start on True Believer tomorrow. but I am, after this video, going to be reading more of the political philosophy. Which is pretty good, as I said. I actually had to stop myself from buying more books this weekend. There's a few dinosaur books, like actual books on dinosaurs, like scientific books, that I want to get, and I held off on that for now because I got to get through most of these here. I got to get the whiskey one, Skeletor. I can probably do that this week. I can just read a couple of pages and get that over with. It's for humor anyway. It's not really anything serious. And all these other ones I got to get into, Alan Watts and whatnot, and all that. So I got to get through to that. So I stopped myself. I almost did the, there's that sweetness again. Man, it is good. I highly recommend this, guys. And gals. I was going to do the Cumberland Tid Note, but I'm going to save that probably for tomorrow. Because tomorrow's my last day of work, and then I'm on vacation, which will be fun. And I'll be cleaning this. I got to clean the shed. The shed's a mess. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for today. Nothing too serious. I think I'm going to smoke this pipe, read a book, which is what the shed's really for. And today's the perfect day to do that. I haven't been reading in the shed much because it's been really hot. As you know, when I do these videos, I'm sweating. It's like 90 degrees in here in the middle of the night while I record these things. And today, last 2 days have been perfect. So I'm going to take advantage of that and read today, because that's typically what I do in the shed, is read, put on the music, and enjoy myself, and do some thinking as well. That's why I love this shed. Sadly, though, the floor is a little rotted. Like it's wobbly and weak, and it should be replaced. Actually, the whole shed should be. So there might be a Shed of Solitude version 2 coming at some point down the line. I don't know when. I'm going to milk this as long as I can, but you know, things aren't made to last forever. So, but anyway, as I said, that's it, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. I didn't make a coffee, morning coffee this weekend. I got extra 8 hours of sleep, almost 8 hours of sleep. I was 10 minutes shy, so I guess you can call it 8 hours. We'll round up, right? So I slept in, enjoyed it. Again, the cool weather, the raining. It's raining, so it keeps you in that want to sleep mode. And I'll probably do it. I would love to do it tomorrow morning, but I'm not going to be able to do that. It's my work day. I got to get it over with and go in early and stuff, so I won't be doing that. But Tuesday morning, probably. I got a few things planned for that stuff. But this Zippo, I love this Zippo. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for today. Today's video is not that exciting, but where is it? Check it out. It's well worth the read. Hopefully that was in focus. I don't know. But anyway, if it wasn't, there you go. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Very easy read. You can get it done in a day. Less than a day. Probably a half hour. Less than that, actually. All right. Go enjoy your time.